Okay, now it should work. There you go. All right, let me just X this out. There we go. All right, so as of right now, I am working on an AI video editing application. So I'm building it with Gemini and with Git Copilot, VS Code, IDE, or code editor. So as of right now, let me detach this. Not that I really want to, but I'm thinking about detaching it. Let's detach it. Pop up. Okay. Thing is that it takes real estate on my screen. Maybe what I could do is put it on my second screen. But here, this is what I'm gonna do. Oh, perfect. You put. Oh no, but then you can't see me. Yeah. So I have to figure out where to put my second monitor, which is my laptop. My thing is, I want to be able to record myself and have my. So maybe if I move my camera, give my laptop space. My studio is very advanced. I just have to do the majority of the work. See how this works. I'm doing all this on the fly, and I have all my cables. Oh, this is messy. So let's see how this is now. Yeah. Autofocus? So it looks like it's promising for now. Let me move my laptop a little closer. Like that, I can't read what's going on. Uh-oh. All right. And let me see if I could put this over here. Okay. Looks nice and. All right. And let me fix my screen on my Mac. Attractive, but it is what it is. All right, so yeah, that's a little too far for me. What I could do is maybe no, I'm gonna bring it back over here. I gotta bring this back over here so I can read it. All right. So basically, what I'm building is an AI video editing application. Obviously, this could be a little overwhelming, but if you know how to prompt correctly and use like advanced prompting, it's doable. I already did it. It's just that I didn't like the final output. I didn't like when I gave them a video. My videos are usually like 2-3 hours long, so I want to be able to chop them up into 5 to 10 minute clips. Now I have DaVinci Resolve, and I'm able to do it myself, but it's taking a lot of time and effort, and it keeps me from doing what I'm passionate about, which is coding and building apps, building websites, you know, the whole shebang. It so happens that I also want to be able to share it with an audience, with you guys. So you have to know how to also um, edit your videos because you guys don't want to watch 2 hour long videos. I personally didn't want to watch it either. So, but if you information is only information if you find it informative. If I found a person like me online that would do these live seminars, videos, streaming, I would definitely attach myself to that person. But yeah, it's a new age. So basically, step one was before writing any actual video editing code, please just show me the recommended project folder structure, files and folders, and a high-level logic loop for pseudo code explaining how the code decides to switch between pipeline A with transcript and B without transcript. Do not write the full implementation yet. So he went ahead and obviously did his research. I'll map out the project structure for pseudo logic before we start coding. He's gonna go ahead and then he went ahead and said planning complete, and he created this transcript explaining more or less what he's gonna do, which is part of the prompt. That was the first step. So basically, that step is please just show me a recommended project folder structure, high level, logic loop for pseudocode, explaining how the code decides to switch between the pipeline A and B. So planning complete. I've created a comprehensive architecture plan at video processor plan. So that's what he did. Here's the summary. So the folder structure, right? Backend and TypeScript. So orchestrator.typescript main entry point. Pipeline separate A and B, implementation, processor, transcription, audio video analysis, semantic chunking, clip export. So AI metadata generation, okay? And utilities is FFmpeg wrappers, config types. And Python is going to be the code processor, Whisper, Librosa, frame extraction. So this decision logic, the key, video input. User provides transcript, yes, pipeline A. If not, then right, and then auto transcript enable, yes, and try A.2 or B failure, no text pipeline B fallback. So it says here pipeline A transcribe with Whisper or use provided. Okay, so he could transcribe. That's very important. Semantic chunking. Group paragraphs into topics, group chunks into 5 to 7 minute boundaries at natural pause points. So generate metadata from transcript tests, highly accurate titles, description. Okay, that's good. See, that's what I was worried about. I was worried about him giving me the title and the description. So he's focusing on that. That's very important. So pipeline B, audio visual fallback. So silence detection, find audio pauses near 5 to 7 minute windows, scene change detection, identify camera cuts aligned with pauses, merge audio plus visual cues with weighted scorings, generate metadata from context, right? Thumbnail, audio spectrum, etc. Audio spectrum. So generate metadata from context. So audio output per clip, catchy SEO, optimized title, 2 to 3 sentence description, duration, always yes, 5 to 7 minutes enforced, start and timestamp, keyword optional, which pipeline was used. So that's the outer output per clip. Okay, so ready for implementation. I can now build core orchestrator with pipeline routing Pipeline A, whisper plus semantic chunking. Pipeline B, audio visual analysis, metadata generator, OpenAI um Anthropic integration, and FFmpeg clip exporter, wrapper REST API for uploads processing. Which would you like to tackle first? Okay, so now let's go to Gemini. Gemini is basically the one of my tech leads. The tech leader is obviously the senior tech lead or developer is VS Code, Git Copilot, and also Gemini. I'm one of the lead developers also, but I'm orchestrating this basically. So okay, so he says here, let me see if I could, you know. So we're in this step right here. So this is step 2. This was the first one. This is what I'm reading right here. This is the first one. Based on our project, please fully implement the TypeScript interface, right? And ensures strict type safely, and a few common details detailing what each property represents, right? Give me 1 second. I think I'm in a different step. Let me see. I haven't prompted him for that yet. Let me see. Oh, I did. It's over here. Mm-hmm. So he said, "Perfect. I've implemented a complete production-ready TypeScript interface suite for your video processor. Here's what's included: core types with strict types, safety, right? So generate metadata, LLM generated title, description, keywords, confidence, clip boundaries, start and end, timestamps, title, description, core output of both pipeline, clip extends, clip boundary with export path, pipeline ID, file metadata, configuration, transcript. Okay, so this is a long word. Transcription options, whisper settings, right? Device model size thing and timing. Audio analysis options. These are like configurations. So silence, peak detection, threshold. So these are the configurations. So results and status. So video metadata, codec resolution, duration. Okay, the other one is transcript. Results, transcription results, full text segment with precise timing. And then he says here process results, final output, clips array, and all that good stuff. All right, so internal pipeline types. Why is this like? I gotta like. Let me zoom a little bit. There you go. All right, so let me give it a little more space. All right, that's fine. Internal pipeline types. Um, Semantic chunk, intermediate and LP output. So audio feature, silence, peak region. Okay, so let's see key features. Comprehensive JS comment explaining each property purpose, type guard. Okay, these are the fallbacks, type guard. Is pipeline A or is pipeline B? These are the functions, okay? For safe runtime checks. So duration validation helper to enforce 5 to 7 minutes constraints. That's good. Strict union types. So A, B for pipeline, codec format. Extend relationship, clip extends. Clip boundary for dry design. Drying, I think this is what dry means. Do do it once Don't repeat. Don't repeat yourself. Don't repeat yourself. Yeah. So optional fields carefully marked for flexibility across pipeline. Ready to build on. Okay, so let's see what's the next step here with my other senior developer. Okay, so this is exceptionally keen, robust and professional blueprint, the dual pipeline routing architecture. All right. I feel like I'm shrinking. All right. Beautifully accounts for the with or without a transcript requirement, and the folder structure gives you your GitHub Copilot flawless roadmap. Since you have the complete logic plan ready, you are set to start feeding this to Copilot in files. Here's exactly how to prompt Copilot to begin writing actual code layer by layer, so it stays hyper focused and accurate. So phase one, setting up the core interface and configuration. Before writing a heavy processing logic, you want Copilot to set up your TypeScript definition and environment configuration. Open up a new file on your workspace. Name, yeah, that's what we just did. So I'm up to phase two. So once your types are established, create the orchestra.ts. Okay, so it looks like it looks like I'm building this from scratch, more or less. But he's providing the code, right? So here's the thing. You got TypeScript right here. It's inside utilities, though. Let's see if he has this in Control copy, Control find, Control V. There's three places here. Okay. I'm just gonna ask him to create the. Hey, Copilot. I mean, not Copilot. Gemini. He has the file structure. You're asking me to create these. You're asking me to create the files. Why are you asking me to create the files when he could create it for me, and then we could move along?
It sounds like there's a little confusion, and that's totally okay. I'm here to help. Sometimes different tools have different ways of working. I don't have the ability to create the files directly during a voice conversation, but I can definitely guide you or provide the content you need to fill them in. Let me know what you need help with, and we'll go from there.
You are completely right, and I apologize for suggesting manual steps. Since the file structure is already laid out, you can absolutely have GitHub Copilot generate all those files and directories for you right away. You can just give Copilot the orchestrator script and the pipeline logic you planned and let it build out the codebase for you from there. What part do you want to have Copilot start with first?
Absolutely, I understand where you're coming from. No worries at all. It's definitely more efficient to let GitHub Copilot handle the heavy lifting, especially if the structure is already mapped out. So let's do that. Just let me know which part of the project you want to kick off first, and we'll get Copilot to spin up those files for you.
Okay, so now they're talking to each other. Uh,
It's completely fine. No rush at all.
oh. I lost connection. Let me see. Okay, I'm still. Oh, I did lose connection. I lost connection to my second monitor. Let me reconnect it. All right. All right, I'm trying to figure this out because I can't say the name too loud because then my second laptop, he starts talking on my second laptop. So, all right, so let me press Windows K, and that's gonna give me the option to connect to my second monitor. Here it is. And now we should be connected, and I'm back. All right, great. All right, so I'm gonna ask him to create the file structure. Can you scaffold? No, 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 not scaffold, because then he'll start writing code. Create the file structure and get rid of the previous files if necessary. If I know how to spell. Let's see what he's. That's a simple prompt. Hopefully, he doesn't go wild. Because I have two applications in this project, so not that I really care about the first one. The first one was just me vibe coding and playing around, but this is serious. So is he adding the code already? Oh. Because I did prompt him to just create the file structure. I don't want him to create anything else. The model wants to edit, yeah, he's gonna edit package JSON. He's gonna make sure that he adds the appropriate nodes or dependencies and structure, communication, key to value pairs, all that good stuff. "26 lines. What is he doing?" Let me stop him. Make sure you don't add the code yet. Let me see. Oh Lord, he's adding code. That's why I had to stop him. Um, so make sure you don't add the code yet. Just create the file structure. I understand you want just the file structure without implementation code. I've already created the node.js backend structure with stub files containing only to-dos and empty function declaration. Let me now create the remaining Python files and config files as empty. All right, so it looks like you created the okay. All files are created with minimum content, to-dos, and stubs ready to start implementing when you're ready. Okay, good. So let's double check and see what he did here. So we go to video processor, right? You gave it a different name, seems. Back end. Yeah. Oh, here it is. So where's the TypeScript? It's in utilities. He doesn't have source folder though. Yeah, he didn't. We're a little off right now. We're definitely a little off. Let me do this. All right. I'm just gonna start from fresh. Copy this, and I'm gonna go to my other guy. I'm gonna work with ChatGPT right now because we need to put him to work. I'm gonna close this. I don't need this right now. Let me go to ChatGPT. Let me see. Is there like a for desktop? Whisper. Here it is. Hopefully it's as good as the as good as the browser version. The browser version was doing a pretty good job, but it was sluggish. So not sure if I'm interested. It's anything sluggish. And I'm gonna restart this all over again. All right, let's see. How's this desktop mode? Oh, here it is. Welcome to ChatGPT. I am going to ask you a few quick questions to help me tailor things for how you work. Which best describes your work? Engineering, design, this one, this full stack developer. Let me just put engineering. Engineering, got it. I can map an unfamiliar code base, plan and build features, trace bugs, okay, across logs and tests and run checks to verify behavior. Here in the desktop app, I can work directly with your computer files, folders. Oh, great. That's what I want. And apps, you choose. Start with a simple task to see how it works. Leave a note on my desktop, turn this spreadsheet, schedule focus block this week, send a message to myself. I'll do this one. I can do that, but I need access to your desktop to put the note there. Mind allowing that? Sure. That's fine. Okay, done. I dropped this note and I tried opening it. And just like that, we did something on your computer. You're all set. Okay. Hello from ChatGPT. You ask. I can do now directly on your computer too. Great. That's good. Okay, let's get started. Do you want to allow this app to make changes to? Yes. All right. Introducing. No, no, no. Okay, so. Okay, so this is what I want to build. Let me see. Do I have to put here with VS Code? I'll build this in VS Code. Is this Pro Edition by any chance? So he wants to build it already. I'll build this in VS Code Ready transfer. No, node project centers to test processor TS orchestrated out first inspect the work, then at the dual cutting pipeline and a runnable CLI. The workspace shell is being blocked before the command starts, so I'm requesting access to the project directory and will continue as soon as the runner can launch. Allow once, let's see. But first I need to make sure that he doesn't do everything at once. The permission was granted, but PowerShell itself is still denied by the window runner. I can still create the project safely through direct workspace patches, so I am proceeding with a dependency light implementation and will clearly note which runtime checks could not be executed here. See, but I don't want him to build it. Wait, let me stop him. I don't want you to build it. I want you to act as the senior developer and give me the instructions and I will build it with you and Copilot. If I need you to implement something, then I will give you the permissions. Let me see if this makes sense. And what was the prompt in the first place? You are an expert senior. Right. Help me build. Right. You're supposed to help me build it. Okay. Says, okay, understood. I'll act as a senior developer architecture and guide you step by step. I won't create, edit, or install, run anything unless you explicitly authorize. For this application, I recommend no. Right. The most important design rule is that boundary planners must guarantee clip duration for each clip. Start at time S, collect candidates stopping points only inside. Okay, then score them, right? Transcript pipeline, complete sentence or paragraph, topic transitions, silence after speech, semantic separation from the next paragraph, fallback pipeline, right? A reasonable fallback score. One edge case needs to an explicit product decision. The final reminder might be under 5 minutes. Since every export clip must remain between 5 and 7 minutes, the planner should adjust one or more preceding boundaries. It must not export the short reminder on its own. Your first implementation milestone should be create the TypeScript project, confirm, define. Okay, so he's giving me a, when you're ready, ask me for the first coding step. For example, guide me through the, hmm. I was hoping you would like, guide me to then direct uh get Copilot to do his job. That's what I was thinking. Boy.
Well, it's an interesting idea. I mean, having a co-pilot to help.
I think I disconnected again because this other user agent keeps interrupting us. Let me shut him off because quit. Okay, maybe that'll help. All right, let me see what's going on here. Oh my God. I was connecting to the wrong device. Oh my. Okay, so did it work? Oh, I have to give him the prompt. I might have to exit this out, start again. Oh boy, we're gonna have to restart. Let me restart my second computer and hopefully that'll work. I'm trying to get my second monitor up, but it's not working. All right, so let me see. I was hoping you would like, guide me to then direct get Copilot to do his job. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so exactly, that's a good workflow. I'll be the senior developer directing the project. You'll pass my implementation prompts to Copilot. Let it make the changes that then bring its output or errors back to me. I'll review the work, catch architecture problems, and prepare the next instruction. I won't modify your files unless you explicitly ask. Use this as your Copilot prompt. Great. So let's see. Are we creating the scaffold? Are we creating, act as an implementer developer. Do only the tasks described below. Do not implement future stages. Create a VS Code ready Node.js project using TypeScript for a long form video clipping application requirement. Right. And then create this initial structure. Source is process, right? Type S and all that good stuff. Define interface and types only for, okay. Define timing, okay. Create the processor class skeleton, accept dependencies through a structure, probes the input video, validate. Okay, where's the part that I'm most interested in, which is pipeline A and B. Do not add web yet. Okay. file created commands I should run before, then run these commands in VS Code terminal. Okay. Yeah, but I want you to make sure that you're also using the first prompt I gave you, which is more or less what I'm looking for. You know, read the first prompt that I gave you and make sure that that's more or less or exactly what I'm getting. So let me see. Yeah, but I want you to make sure that you're also using the first prompt I gave you, which is more or less. And if that's the case, you don't have to recreate the prompt. If that's what we're following, my first prompt that I gave you, then, to then obviously give to VS Code, then we're okay. We don't have to make changes. Let me know what you think. Let me give him this prompt. I mean, I like to read because I want to, when you read stuff, you understand stuff. So let me see. Yeah, but I want you to make sure that you are also using the first prompt I gave you, which is more or less what I'm looking for. Read the first prompt that I gave you and make sure that that's more or less or exactly what I'm getting. And if that's the case, you don't have to recreate the prompt. If that's what we're following, my first prompt that I gave you, then to then obviously give to VS Code, then we're okay. We don't have to make changes. Let me know what you think. Okay, let's see what he says. He said, yes, we're following your first prompt as a project name specification. The Copilot prompt I gave you is only milestone one, not a replacement or reduced version of your original vision. Okay, your final application would include 5 7 minute clips from long form videos, pipeline A, whisper transcription, semantic topic grouping, and logical conversational stomping points. Pipeline B, silence audio energy analysis, plus scene changes detection, automatic fallback when transcription is disabled or fail, context awareness, title, and SEO, 2 to 3 seconds description, Node.js transcript, orchestration, Python to local whisper, and AI media analysis where appropriate, right? So FF MPEG, FF probe for inspection and video cutting. So strict enforcement that exports clips are never under 5 or over 7 minutes. The first Copilot instruction intentionally asks for only foundations, type, interface, orchestrations, skeleton, and duration validation that keeps Copilot from generating the whole system at once if tightly coupled or unreliable code. Our that our clarification to your original requirement, a video total duration cannot always be divided mathematically into pieces where every piece is between 300 and 420 seconds. For example, a source video shorter than 5 minutes cannot produce a compliant clip. The application should therefore rebalance earlier boundaries. Let me see, is my recording still? Yeah. Okay, great. Looked a little choppy there. I have to log in. I don't think I need the second screen. I think I'm doing pretty good right now. Okay, so rebalance earlier boundaries when possible. Fail clearly when no valid partition exists. Never silently export any non-compliant clips. So yes, Give the existing milestone 1 prompt to Copilot and VS Code unchanged. It is aligned with your original prompt. Once Copilot completes it, bring me the results and I'll check that the implementation still supports the complete architecture before directing milestone 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and run milestone 1. Okay, so let's see the file structure. He didn't give it a we haven't even created the folder yet. Did we create the project root folder yet? Because it looks like you're just jumping into source. I'm thinking about starting from scratch. I did try it in a previous project, but it failed. So I'm thinking about starting from scratch. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new project folder. What do you think we should call it? And then, have VS Code start from there. Oh, okay. So let's see. No, we haven't created the project root folder yet. Starting fresh is the right move, especially since the previous attempt failed. I recommend naming it Smart Video Clipper. Okay. It's clear, professional, and broad enough if the product later expands beyond one platform. And PowerShell run this. Okay, yeah. That's exactly how that starts. Yeah, this is the McDear creating a project folder, and then we're going to change directory to that project folder, and then we're going to, yeah, right. That's the right way of building these things. I feel kind of geek. I like being geeky, so I'm gonna have my other laptop do some type of work. Excuse me, because let me see. Oh boy, I'm trying to enter the password here, people. So bear with me. Okay. So now I have to open my share screen Windows wireless display. So now it should work. Let me see. There's a connection problem, people, on my end. I'm gonna see if I restart it. I'm gonna kill the process. I think it's called, let me see, Windows. Wireless. Uh-oh. I don't want to kill that process. All right, this is gonna have to wait. Let me run some of these steps first. Okay, so first of all, PowerShell. Let me look for PowerShell. No. And I'm gonna run this command. Yeah. So let me, can't make changes right now. So let me go ahead and grab this and put this in my notepad. Put this right here. So you know what I'm gonna prompt my chat GPT? I want to make sure that if he doesn't have permission to do whatever he wants in PowerShell, that before he decides to do anything, to direct me or instruct me to give them the permission. And I know that it has to do with environment variables. So the path that I want this to be built in is in my program execution folder. Right? So copy. Okay, so let's do that. Control V. Wait. Yeah, Control V. Yeah, I copied it. Yeah, I copied it again. So let's Control copy. You gotta be very careful when this part is crucial. You might build this project in a different place, and then your terminal and your code editor, you know, IDE, integrated development environment, might not be in the same file location. So you gotta be careful. So CD change directory. Here's the thing about this, right? He's telling me path where you want the project. Okay. All right, so I want it in here. So that's perfect. So I'm gonna run this command in PowerShell. Control V, warning, privacy, paste anyway. You are about to paste text that contains multiple lines. If you paste this text into your shell, it might result in unexpected execution of command. Do you wish to continue? There's nothing wrong with this. All right, one code at a time. Let's not get too crazy. You know, we're novice coders. We're not on top of the line professional coders, you know. So let's learn one line at a time. You don't want to do too many of that. You might just go crazy. Okay, so deaf for 1 ear right now. Just came out of work, people. Tired. Not really. I'm excited. So let's open up a window VS Code. Perfect. This is the right way of doing things if you want to set it up. All right. Try the plan agent to research and plan before implementing changes. Really? Never heard of that one. How does this work? It's the plan agent. I think there's a, let me see. This is the plan. Open and agents. What's the next step? Use create agent to scaffold a custom agent for your workflow. Wow. That's interesting. Never heard of that one. I wish I could connect, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and restart my Explorer. Maybe that'll work. Yeah, Windows Explorer. Let me see. Yeah, not really. It might mess up my workflow. I just wish I can see if everything's okay. That's the whole purpose. But so we're in the correct file, right? Oh, Control Shift backtick. Open the terminal. Yes, we are. Very important. They're both in the same place, and the way we could check that is when we create a file there, then we run a dir or dir directory command. All right, so now what's the next step here? Smart video clip, okay. Or create the folder using File Explorer, then VS Code choose, or then in VS Code choose the file, whatever. Okay, so verify the VS Code terminal shows the new folder. And this is in PowerShell. He wants me to run this here. Let me run this here. Not a bad idea. Okay. Uh-oh, multiple lines. Paste anyway. You gotta take a little risk here and there. There's no child elements at the moment. You know, I'm thinking about making my terminal also giving it the setting it up to take in. Oh, it does. Yeah, giving it the option for me to be able to prompt inside the terminal. I did it already. I made a video on that. If you guys want to watch it, let me know. Always put a comment below. Thank you. Okay, it's very interesting. There's a lot of things you could do in the terminal when you're able to prompt in the terminal. Okay, so let's go. So it should be empty or nearly empty. Don't run npm init yet, and don't give Copilot the milestone one prompt until VS Code has opened right as a workspace root. So our eventual top level structure will be smart video clipper apps, right? TypeScript application workers, Python Whisper worker, data local, input and generated media tests. Okay. So one adjustment, the earlier Copilot prompt placed source directly at the root. While our complete Node.js and Python architecture benefits from apps API source, once you have the empty folder open, tell me, and I'll give you correct milestone one prompt is signed specifically for brand new roots. Okay, I'm ready. It's already open. It's in the correct path. I checked the terminal and the main and the um code editor are both in the correct file location, which I made that mistake in the past. But yeah, I believe my terminal and my code editor are in the same file location. So I'm ready. That was a lot of information unnecessarily. Great. We're ready for milestone one. Paste the following into GitHub. Wow, why does it move? Everything moves. Wow. DMT, huh? All right, so great. We're ready for milestone one. Paste the following into GitHub Copilot chat and VS Code, preferably using agent mode. Let's go for agent mode. Never really did the agent mode. Wait a minute, where am I? I have to move my mic back and forth because I am okay. Open an agent. An agents? In agents. Let me ask him what he means. What do you mean by agent? What do you mean by agent, Mo? I actually have my chat window open with my Git Copilot agent, so not sure if that's what you mean.
It sounds like you're
Oh
asking
my
about
god.
Copilot.
Why is he always popping up? I have to exit him. As soon as I say that word, my second laptop responds and he comes out speaking. All right, let me see. Wait a minute. Okay, now I gotta read what's going on over here. Okay, preferably use an agent mode. So then, oh, down here, what does he say? Let Copilot complete the work and run its checks. Don't approve extra features such as UI, user interface, Express Server, database, Docker, or actual Whisper installation yet. When finished, send me Copilot final summary, any errors shown in the terminal. He wants me to send him the processor dot TypeScript, the TypeScript, and the processor test TypeScript. I'll review those as the senior developer before we proceed to. Okay, great. Then I'm about to prompt him. What do you mean by Agent Bomb? Oh my god. What do you say up here? What do you mean by Agent Bomb? I actually have my chat window open with my Git Copilot agent, so not sure if that's what you mean. Okay, let's see. Yes, that's likely exactly what I mean. In VS Code, Copilot can usually operate in modes such as ask, explain things, but generally don't edit the project. Edit makes edits to selected files. Agent examine the workspace, create and edit multiple files, run terminal commands, check errors, and iterate on the implementation. For Copilot chat, shows agent selected near the chat input, or the agent can create files and run terminal commands. You're in the right place. Paste the milestone, right? One prompt in that chat. Copilot may ask permission, create or modify files, run an npm install, running tests. For build commands, review and approve actions that stay with the smart video clipper folder. Don't approve anything that deletes unrelated files, modify another project, or adds features outside of milestone one. Okay, great. So he's telling me to make sure that it says that it's an agent mode. Selected near the chat input. It's all right. I know. I know we're good. Let me X this out. Yeah, we're definitely set agent. It's I have it on auto though. It's fine. It's been working for me. So what is this? It's local. It's not system wide. Go live. Hmm. How do you go live? Click to run live server. Let me try that one of my other ones. See what this does. No. Get out of here. What happened here? This one has go live, but the other one doesn't. What happened to go live? What's down here? Huh. Why, that's interesting. I'm gonna click it. What? What is this? Oh, that's open a localhost server on the browser. I don't know what's going on there. Let me go over here. All right, so let's go ahead and prompt him here. We're gonna prompt the first one. Let me see. So we're gonna paste this in here. Okay. That's a huge prompt. This is definitely a very good prompt. This is what you called a skilled prompt. Shoot. Okay, let's go. Let me see what he says down here, because let complete the work and run its checks. Don't approve extra features. Okay. When it finishes, okay. My thing is he didn't. All right, let's just do it. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Oh. Looking good, looking good, looking good. All right. I'm gonna X this guy out. And okay, so basically, let's see what he's doing. I am verifying the workspace root and current directory first, and I'll inspect the folder content to anchor the initial setup before making any changes. I am gathering the minimum local context, current working directory, root contents, and existing memory notes, so I can confirm we're operating an intended project root and avoiding unnecessary exploration. The terminal is in the intended root, and the workspace folder is empty, so I can scalpel milestone 1 without risking unrelated files. Next, I'm pulling the project setup skills, guidance, and then I'll lay out the implementation plan and start creating that minimum foundation. Project setup info local, create the workspace package layout. Now, I believe he's creating the package JSON and all that good stuff. Do you want to allow this? I'm gonna allow it. Okay. Oh, let's see. Okay, let me allow him to npm install. Create the workspace package layout, TypeScript, and all that good stuff in Python. Placeholder files. That's what they are. Implement the domain types, timing, config, processes, skeleton validations, and type stuff modules. Okay, so he's creating type stuff modules. They're placeholders. Invite coverage for plan validation and document the milestone in the root readme and new and environment example, install dependencies and run npm install. Okay, TypeScript test, run build, then fix only issues caused by this implementation. Okay, I've got the root confirmed and the folder is empty. I'm creating the project skeleton now with the smallest compile ready. Implementation, workspace config type, stub processor, validation core, test, and milestone docs. The scaffolds in place. I am moving straight to validation now. Install dependency first, then type check before widening to test and build. So I am running the required install validations sequence now to catch type or config issues in the new foundation before making any file edits. So dependency is installed. Next, check is the narrowest compile validation for the code I just added. TypeScript type checking. Okay, so we got an error. PM run type check, one error, source processor. Okay. So type check found one exact optional property issue in the process of metadata context. I am fixing that narrow slice and then running the same type check before moving on. Okay, so I've applied the minimum type fix. Rerunning the same type check now to confirm the process of contract is clean before proceeding to test. So ran npm run type check. Type check is clean. I'm continuing the required validation sequence with, let me because I keep leaning over because the words are so tiny. So now I don't have to do that because I press control zoom control plus. Okay, so I've applied the minimum type fix, rerunning the same type check now to confirm the process of contracts. It's clean before proceeding to test. Okay, so type check is clean. I am continuing the required validation sequence with unit tests and then the production build. The required command or pass. I am doing one final housekeeping pass recording to verify repo setup facts and memory, and then I'm summarizing the create file, decision results, and deferred to dos. I've confirmed the final workspace file sets. I'm storing the verified test commands and architecture splits and repo memory, so future work starts from the same foundation. The terminal working directory matches the VS Code project root, and the folder was empty before scaffolding. Files created or modified. Root config docs, VS Code config, API workspace config, core API resources, stub pipeline media metadata modules, tests, processor tests that test, Python foundation data, placeholder dependencies and architecture decision. The root is private. Okay. NPM workspace with a single workspace package and root scripts delegated to the package. TypeScript is configured in strict node next mode from the share base config, so done. Domain logic stays typed and platform neutral. Dependency was kept minimum. Okay, milestone one keeps orchestration and domain validation separate from external. Okay, plan validations exported and dependencies. Results for the fourth. Okay, all right. I think we could. There's a lot to read here. So, any commands you must run manually. None for milestone. The required install types and build commands were already run. So if you want to inspect the reported dependencies, advisory